Call the order for Oak Creek City Council regular council meeting for August 4th, 2026. Roll call, please.
Mayor Luke Dillon.
Here.
Councilor Robert Cheney.
Here.
Councilor Jamie McElmurray.
Here.
Councilor Kathy Ragg.
Here.
Councilor Diana Larson.
Here.
And Councilor Rick Held.
Please stand for the petition. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Move public communications, citizens heard on non-agenda items. We have two, Lindsay.
Is it okay if he hands out?
Sure.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. You want to sit, stand? I don't know.
Yes, state your name and your address for the record.
Well, I'm Lindsay McMillan, 122 Mountain View Avenue in Myrtle Creek. Okay.
Yeah.
My name's Lindsay, and I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to tell you about an event that you're doing. It's happening this Saturday at Millside Park, and we're calling it the Better With You Here Suicide Awareness Color Walk. It's completely free community event from 9 to 1. The heart behind this event is simple. We just wanted to bring people together and spread hope and connect people with local resources, and remind everyone of the simple truth that the world is better with you here. Throughout the day, we'll have colored powder. We have a guy coming from Grants Pass with colored mango scented foam, which I think is fun. We have water slides, music, kids activities, the dunk tank, free lunch while supplies last, community resource booth, and an optional community raffle. The event itself is completely free. The raffle is our fundraiser, and 100% of the proceeds will go directly to support the South Umpqua High School Hope Squad. Do you guys know the one? I didn't either. It's a group of student-led peer support program at our local high school, and they're going into the other schools also. But basically, they recognize when classmates or family members or friends are struggling. And they connect them with resources they have to go through, training that we also had to go through to get them the help that they need and know what to say and how to handle it. So pretty cool. I didn't know that our schools did that. Anyways, they've been helping us with this event, so we wanted to give back to them. And that's what the proceeds for the raffle will go to, but the event itself is completely free. One thing that's been super amazing in this is how much our community, obviously, we know that our community is very awesome and they like to help us out. So they really gathered supplies and really lots of things for next year also. We're already starting. Jamie was a huge help too. So what started as like a tiny idea has grown into this huge thing. It's pretty awesome. We even have representatives from 988, the National Suicide Hotline or whatever. They're going to come from Portland, which is pretty cool. Kind of nerve-wracking also, I'm not going to lie. But I just want to sincerely thank you guys for allowing us to use Millside and for your support. We do truly appreciate it. And I'd also like to personally invite each of you to stop by on Saturday, even if it's just for a little while, walk around, mingle with the people, meet the organizations, visit with some of the families, maybe even have some lunch, get a little color on you. And if any of you are feeling especially brave, I already asked, but you just had surgery, so you have an excuse this year, but next year, we need people to do the dunk tank. And I would love, like, city officials to be somebody who volunteers to do the dunk tank. So, thank you.
I volunteered Bob.
I think Rick would be a good one.
I got this. I'll have it also.
No, I heard that's the 15th. That's the next Saturday, isn't it?
Not the something for high school.
Darn it. Okay, that's what she told me to, but okay. Anyway, Thank you.
Yeah, fire ones later.
Okay.
No, my wife told me a little about this, it'd be really awesome. As many of us can show up for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ted,
Hi, hello all. Ted Robbins, 271 Indian Lane, Road Creek. I'm here this evening representing the Road Creek Elks Lodge as a trustee and the public relations chairperson. Just to inform the council of some information that I'm going to report to our board meeting a half an hour from now at 6:30 regarding property that we own that parallels Millside Park. There is a couple of reasons I'm bringing this to the attention of the council because I know there was recently a meeting regarding the master plan for Millside Park. And I don't know what all that entails. I believe that had to do with engineering and those kinds of things. But there's also a concern that our board has about I'll call it a slice of property that we own that kind of parallels the fence on the north side of the creek and extends beyond our parking lot nearest the creek west. And it's a little slice of land about like that. I'll leave this with the city recorder for the record. We are starting to have some concerns as an Elks Lodge about liability of that property because there are people who are making that property available to themselves as campers or day campers or whatever, small groups of people. They've not created any problems for us at this point in time, but we need it to be understood that if it's necessary for us to post signage there, addressing the issue of our no trespassing on private property or whatever, that we want to make sure the city council is aware that we may do that and inform them if we do. Currently, it's not an issue, but I just drove by there today on the way here, and there are people there on what would appear to be our property based on this drawing presented to me by City Hall.
Thank you, Ted.
That's my report.
thanks, Ted. And I know you brought that to my attention the other day too, but you probably talked to a lot of people about that. I'm curious to know.
Well,
We know about.
over the years, there's been some confusion about where exactly this property line is and who owns it.
Yeah.
Where it is and who owns it. And for many years, we had our Elks Lodge picnic at that piece of property. We've got one coming up this Sunday and we intend to have our picnic there. But it's a fine line based on that about exactly, it's kind of an awkward slice of property, if you will, if you look at that. It kind of extends beyond our parking lot closest to the creek westbound and then takes an angle kind of toward the fence line and then kind of swoops back around across the creek and back around to that portion that we own in parallels.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would just be good to kind of determine officially.
Well, especially with the master plan coming up for Millside Park, not knowing what that's going to involve.
Well, because it makes you think about the conversation we're gonna have later about. Not camping, the sleeping area and or that involved.
What was my question at the last meeting on would be the fence that property line?
Anything perform, but if it's private property, he has every right to post it and Jonathan can enforce it.
Well, thank you for that, but let me just reinforce that we've not had any problems that
Right.
brought to our attention that are concerns to us at this point in time. We do recognize that it could be a liability for us if something occurs there.
I mean, is it one of those things where we just have to like get an official survey done and so we can?
That's for you to determine.
Yeah. Yes.
The most current information I have about where those lines are is what I just gave.
Yeah.
City report, and that came from the city.
They get matches with my Onyx. Pretty
Those
close.
are just a ballpark. You
Yeah.
can't use those like a regular survey. If you want to know,
I know,
to,
believe me, I know.
well, we do too.
So this is the probably the question.
You can run around and say, oh, I want using that stuff. Just waste time.
This is the city, okay.
And that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's right next to it, okay. Okay,
How much property that entails? I mean, could be an acre.
Not much. I don't.
0.93.
.93. Okay.
because it's on both sides, it's on both sides of the creek.
Right.
But the portion of that of concern right now is on what's on this side of the creek.
Yeah.
And that, parallels Millside Park.
Maybe show us on this map.
We can,
It's
But
just
red line-
over
red
on the
line-
opposite side of the bunker along the creek.
that red line. All right, we're gonna move on. Consent agenda. Approval of minutes from regular city council meeting for July 21st, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting for July 21st, 2026.
Do you have a second?
Just a second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Regular has been, 6.1 amendment to the city administrator agreement. I think it's just, primarily it's about adjusting the evaluation. I think that.
And removing
Yeah.
the clause.
That's right.
Yeah.
For this. agency.
Yep, those are the only two things that were changed, was removing that clause based on the charter amendment passing, and that has passed, so we're removing that clause. And then it is realigning evaluations to May instead of December to follow the COLA increase and regular employee increases with the fiscal year.
I'll make a motion to amend the employment agreement with that charter, the administrator removing section 2 for the charter amendment condition and section 5 for the performance evaluation change. The evaluation period to May of each year.
Second that.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried. With that said, I think if we got the evaluation, should.
Should I know what the date was the second?
By the 13th, so that I can combine them all and have them ready for the meeting on the 18th.
6.2 Park Commission appointments.
On this one, you only have 2 of them.
No, so the third one's down there. He's not at the top, he's at the bottom.
Right, he's at the bottom, but he's not in the issue before city council.
Oh, I bet he turned it in the last day, so I'm sorry if I didn't get him in there. So during our last open house for the Millside Park Master Plan, I'd like to say we had a packed house. It was like 15 people in here. And during that meeting, we had 3 individuals express interest in joining the Park Commission. Angel Smith is currently our Planning Commission Chair. Elizabeth Cameron is the owner of Timber Tales Dog Grooming, and Dale Embry would be our second outside city limits applicant, and he owns the Rock Guy.
Have the other 2 officially resigned?
Yes, so we have received a letter of resignation from Mark Pavlak. We received a letter of resignation from Tanya Buzzard. And so we have 3 positions open of the 4. We have one of our park commissioners, Linda's here. We have Bill Umflett, Jim Davies, and Diana Larson.
So do I need to make a motion separate for each one?
Yes.
I think so.
I move to appoint Angel Smith for Park Commission, filling position 2 in the site city limits for the term ending December 31st.
Hers was after the package.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. She said that she felt that the Parks Commission needed an new voice. I found that kind of interesting.
meaning,
Speculate.
uh, she's got a lot of good ideas. She's in real estate, so she knows property and issues, so I think she'd be a great addition to the Parks Board.
I think if we're gonna do these, that's why I brought it up last time, because nobody realized that if we would be doing this now, there is no park commission. So there's things that I just want to make sure they understand their roles, because they haven't been followed, and then we get back to 6 people, and then 2 more resign, and then we don't have a commission. So I was hoping they'd be here tonight so we could ask them if they understand all positions, because isn't one of them taking over all the scheduling?
Well, what's gonna happen if we don't have a Parks Commission? Who's gonna do that?
Come into us, it's just, right now, she's invited to their commission anyway. But I don't care one way or another. I mean, we had that discussion last time. The only reason we kept it was to get through the park master plan. So that's fine. Having the park commission is absolutely great if they follow what's supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
And
the
that's-
parks are like the heart of a community. I think they're a
Absolutely.
very important part of every city. So I think it's really important to have people on that board that are interested in it, if they want to take on that role.
So I did
we want-
They're excited
But
to
we
be
also
on
want
there.
them to take a
And they are very
Like,
excited. If you guys had been here, you would have.
But if they were here, we could ask them, do you understand your roles? Because it hasn't been followed.
I think
I
the
attended-
meeting is next Tuesday. Go ahead.
I attended the Parks Commission meeting and during the meeting, there were several conversations, but at one point I very clearly stated, do you understand part of the role of the Parks Commission is, because people were suggesting like we need a Friends of Millsite, a Friends of the softball field. And I very clearly stated that is the role of the Parks Commission, is to help fundraise, not just for Millsite Park, but for all the parks, and that is part of the Parks Commission. And I said it multiple times in that meeting, so those that were here were aware that that is a role, and I actually talked to Dale afterwards and Angel. I'm not sure which one was Elizabeth, but I talked to both of them and they were both very aware that it had been involved in fundraising portion.
And that's all, that's what I'm saying. And everything seems to come back on the city staff and Andy Joanna for the last 4 or 5 years. And that's why when we brought, Anya on, they put, and Anya and Jim and Mark reapplied, they put down what the functions are. And that's, I want to make sure that they know what their duties are.
And what would be the benefit of getting rid of the Parks Commission?
Who said we're getting rid of the Parks Commission? I know you've been telling people that, but who said that?
No, you,
That's come up because we were determining whether or not it was,
okay,
they were doing
so
it.
I would like to know what solution that's going to provide to the city by getting rid of the Parks Commission.
I don't think that's what we're trying to debate at this moment. What we're debating at this moment,
The meeting
we're not even
is
talking
next
about getting rid of
the
Tuesday.
motion on the floor is to approve this person for the position. It's not whether we're gonna get rid of them or keep them or whatever. It's to approve the person to fill the position, and that's what we're debating at this moment.
And, so are we done with Angel? Have we moved on?
A vote.
No, we have not voted.
So then, all right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, nay?
I make a motion to appoint Elizabeth Cameron to the Park Commission, filling position 5 inside the city limits with a term ending December 31st, 2028.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Opposed, nay?
I move to appoint Dale Embry to the Park Commission, filling position 7 outside city limits with a term ending December 31st, 2028.
Any other discussion?
What is outside? What's that considered? Why couldn't the Tanya stayed on and as the outside if she wanted to? That's outside. We have no.
She stated she didn't want to drive down also. yeah.
And we say we just have 2 outsides, but it doesn't specify what outside
It doesn't
is.
specify how far outside, no.
So they can be from a different city.
No,
If the council were to approve them, I suppose.
it says outside. 5 in the city, 2 outside. It doesn't say where outside is.
I have a question. Have there always been, responsible for fundraising? Or-
Yes.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? All right. And I congratulate them, they're not here. Ordinance and resolutions, second reading for ordinance 879 and ordinance amending the Motor Creek Municipal Code Title 9, Public Peace, Morals, and Welfare, amending ordinance 875.
When I turned in my application for that, nobody asked me to come and show up to be voted on. So I don't think they were probably asked to come and show up. Just probably not.
I had two of them that were out of town tonight due to the short notice of.
Last spring showed up, so this.
Yeah, who's writing? This we gave first, and it's okay.
So I have some discussion on this. I don't know if I want to make a motion and then discuss
Go ahead.
why did this come up?
It's a second read.
I know it's the second read. I was like there but unavailable for the first read, so I didn't get
It was,
to.
oh yeah, you were,
I was on the.
I think to clarify, I think it was causing confusion. Adding location not to be at instead of we should be having locations where to be, because it was kind of confusing.
A lot of it came from, the golf, disc golf park, that's because of the problems that they've been experiencing down there with the
It's
defecation.
determined by Brewster and I think, and the city that it was, and I think state to make it clear where they can be, not just state where they can't be.
Right.
So that's the point of what.
So are we gonna find a solution or are we just going
This
to?
is the solution right now, I'm gonna let you.
A long-term solution rather than moving them from here to there. And, the ADA seems to be a problem that nobody.
Because we don't have a
Right.
camp.
But you need to think about those situations, and I don't know if maybe it's something that we need to be running past.
We don't want to,
That's-
we don't want to set up camp, we don't want to add that.
So is that possible? Because there seems to be some problems with where they're being designated as this is where you can be. And there's not,
It's not for camp, it's just for them to be able to sleep, it's just for sleeping, not establishing a camp.
If they put up any type of a shelter over top of them, these are the places they can do that at. They can sleep anywhere in the city as long as they do not put up a shelter, anywhere on city property. That's state law. But if they put up a shelter and protect themselves from the elements, it becomes a different situation. And the city can designate certain areas for that to happen and it doesn't become a camp at that point. But there are only certain areas that you can exclude others.
And it states when they can set it up, when they.
Right.
Like that.
And
right,
the ADA compliance comes in with establishing a camp. And a camp is defined by an area that they're allowed to leave their stuff up all the time. And at least I don't personally want to set up a camp area in town.
Well, one of the things that, I'm concerned about is that, I felt like the decision was made and I don't understand why we couldn't have had some sort of emergency meeting so that we could hash all this out and really look at it carefully, because otherwise, our friend Tom here wouldn't have showed up tonight. I mean, we need to look at all the businesses around where we designate a place and not just make a quick panicky decision.
Well, Kathy, so this is just flopping the wording from saying where they cannot be and making them figure out what's allowed to Jonathan's
Well, why
request.
can't they be in the Millside Park, or in the golf course, because one person stormed into the city council and
Not be,
a temper tantrum?
we've had multiple so the campers down there, because we can't see them down there, they're staying beyond the time that they're
Why
supposed
can't
to
we
have,
see that?
because they're down in the
Why
disco.
couldn't someone in the city have someone go in like they changed the garbage cans and just check out and clean up? I picked up on the beach down there a big bloody towel or something, and I took it with my fingernails and pulled it all the way up to the garbage can.
I'm kind of confused of what you're arguing.
What?
I'm kind of confused on what you're trying to argue.
What I'm arguing is you've taken and put them at the front. There's two entrances, main entrances, at the far north end and far south end of Mill Site. When you come in after you pass the bridge, right next to Tommy's, that's the entrance. And as soon as you come in, you see the homeless right there, which is fine, you know, if.
You do,
we could've-
or you will see them?
You
do that.
see them.
So part of this is that to consider is the time, is that it is the time that the park is not open. The park is open from daylight to dusk. And 9 PM or 8 PM, whatever time we chose, is dusk. And at 7 AM would be daylight when the park would be opening. So we're asking them to, if you're going to sleep in this area, by 7 AM, you have to have all of your stuff packed up. And no litter, no garbage, no evidence that you were here. So it's during the hours that the park is closed, but yet it's closed to a water fountain, where they can fill their water bottles and access water. The restrooms are closed regardless. So at least there is an area where it can be monitored by the police without them putting themselves at risk by getting out and potentially coming up on someone in the bushes in the dark or in an area where there is no one in the event that something happens to them to have backup other than their radio. So this is a visible area where they can be patrolled by not only the police, but city employees or anybody else down there to be like, hey, there's some guy with his head still down here, and then it can be addressed by the police. And
So there's a
Please
guy
tell-
going to the bathroom where he's not supposed to go to the bathroom if the bathrooms are closed. So I just have a problem with, putting them someplace and telling them these are the rules and then complaining because they're not following the rules because there's nowhere for them to comply
But they didn't
reasonably.
have
And I'd like to, we could pass this, but I would like to look into it further at some point.
This is
Try to
already-
do something.
This is Myrtle Creek Municipal Code already. It's been set
Yeah,
in
this is
code
a
as
done deal,
code
which I don't
for
like at
over,
all.
for over 5, at least 7 years that I know of. It has been in the code. All we are doing is excluding one property from taking it from one and moving it to the other as an exclusionary piece of property rather than leaving it in there where they can be.
But
That's
why
all
are
we're
you
doing.
changing it? Because some guy came in, threw a fit, probably the same guy that was on the Facebook where a comment was made that I shouldn't read everything I read on Facebook, which I don't even go on Facebook, but they were calling into question all of our city council seats. And that pisses me off.
Well, Kathy, it wasn't one individual. And last time you brought up how Brandon and the disc golf course workers volunteer and how hard they work.
They did, but one end of the point you're missing is that this is done in a panic. This is gonna continue to come up because of
Panicking.
you guys did, without making a decision to come to us so that we can have it out and apply it instead of in public, so it's.
Well, all meetings, Kathy, have to be, all business discussions have to be in public.
There's nothing secretive happening.
Okay, fine, then,
Nobody's in a panic. This was.
well, okay, well,
Everybody.
I don't like having I don't like having my seat threatened.
Oh.
It wasn't me that was threatened on Facebook. Well, then-
You can't take Facebook serious.
Well, here we go again. In the last 2 months, we've had incidences where people have started a little grass fire and it's turned into a big forest fire in the library.
Now
was
we
one.
go off topic. Let's stay on topic.
Okay, fine. Why all of a sudden, without having a good discussion about other possible, I mentioned Evergreen Park, they have bathrooms over there. It's not right there as you come into town.
They lock those bathrooms, same time they lock.
Well,
And
get
and
us
that's
in a
my
porta
problem,
potty
is we're
then.
not providing the services, but people at the disc golf complaining because they're going to the bathroom in the disc golf. And
If
these
they
other
don't,
ones where
if they
everybody
come
knows
in our
they don't
town,
have
they don't like our
facilities
services,
either.
they compete, like, we can't provide the services. We're not providing a camp for them.
Well, the point is they're right in the middle as you come into town, all the tourists.
And don't we have a sign that says something about veterans, and unfortunately, a lot of the homeless are veterans.
But this is, I guess,
So.
what
we want to
all
provide
is
services.
trying to state is, this is something that we have allowed. Rather, we're not changing, the only thing we're changing is adding an excluded area and excluding the disc golf course.
And I feel like
But
both
we
of
are-
them are arguing a point, but they're both against each other in their arguments, it's kind of funny.
No, we have our. But see, that's the thing, it's all funny to you, but
It is.
it's a different issue than mine.
I
Well,
don't know. But
and-
I would like to discuss
Yeah,
and figure out a solution rather than just moving them around.
And the
saying, "Can't do this,"
restrooms-
And then you can't crap here, but we're not gonna open the bathroom so you can, so good luck, buddy.
So the
I've been there.
restrooms are a hard one because we've accidentally left them open before and they've been full of needles in the morning. So then your park people have to call in somebody because they can't be picking up all the needles off the floor. So it really is, it's
So
a
they
hard,
throw 'em in there.
it's
They're
a,
gonna use the needles if they're drug addicts, but a lot of them aren't.
well, that's just what's happened when the restrooms have been left open. So it's a hard question that doesn't have any kind of a easy or simple answer.
Thank you. That's all I wanted to hear. Thank you.
I move to approve the second reading of ordinance 879, an ordinance amending Myrtle Creek Municipal Code Title 9, Public Peace, Morals, and Welfare, amending ordinance 875.
Oh, second.
Now I'm gonna have.
Hesitate to ask if there any discussion.
Well, I would like to revisit a real solution at some point. However, we need to get that on the agenda or whatever kind of meeting that it would take.
So what your solution?
I'm spending a bunch of time in that.
Add to agenda without actually having, so any other solution first.
I guess we need to know what we're having, a solution to which problem? The
Yeah.
sleeping area,
That's true.
the homeless in general?
Wherever we're gonna have them sleeping, there should be a porta potty and a garbage can.
Because then that constitutes a camp.
How is it?
Yeah.
a camp? We can just put one there. just
Responsible
because.
for them once we start getting them.
And I feel like this is state legislature.
If you
The- the
provide a
law-
potty and a
you are
garbage
asking-
can,
Argue with the state representative, argue with the
I
state
have-
legislature.
House Bill 3115, and it talks about the lawsuits that they can potentially bring and the city that can be liable. So
Supreme
those are
Court
things
says no,
that
or
we
just
need
yes.
to be aware of as a city.
Yes,
To,
we're giving them a place to sleep.
Maybe we could consult our lawyer.
Yeah, by us not having the camp, that keeps us out of getting in trouble. Because if we give them a camp, then we have to protect them and we're liable if they get injured in our
That
camp.
opens a whole nother world of
And
problems.
we don't want to, yeah. I don't
This
think our
is
community.
public
should be
property
in that
with
situation.
respect to persons experiencing homelessness and declaring an emergency, and the rights that they have when they do that. So as long as we all are aware. Coming on.
Hard hats. We only get hard hats.
I think it should have been a lot worse than that before.
Yeah,
That wasn't that bad.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
And Kathy, you do have to vote.
I don't have to, according to our,
You-
the code that was given to me for the city council.
You can abstain if you have a conflict of interest, but so you'd have to just say your no if you don't want to move forward with
It's
it.
gonna come up again over and over and over. I'll say no, but it's gonna come.
Mr. Mayor, would you pull, individual, I want to hear your vote on that.
The yes is Counselor Held, Counselor Cheney, Counselor McElmurray. The no vote is Counselor Larson, Counselor Ragg. So it does have a 3 majority to pass.
Ordinance 880, an ordinance granting to Charter Communications a non-exclusive franchise for the maintenance and operation to use the public ways of the city of Morro Creek for purposes of providing cable television services in the city and repealing ordinance number 812.
I'll make a motion to approve the second read of the ordinance 880 and an ordinance granting Charter Communications a non-exclusive franchise for maintenance and operations of public use of the public ways in the city of Royal Creek for purposes of providing cable television services within the city of Royal Creek, repealing ordinance number 8.
I'd second that.
Any discussion?
Does that have a change in the amount that they,
State 5%.
and it's, how long has it been 5%?
10 years?
Our last agreement was 7 years, and so now we're doing a 10-year, and I couldn't tell you specifically what it was the previous.
And other cities, is that like what they declared as fair and reasonable?
Yeah.
So for some reason they don't have an increase, cost of living or anything.
That 5% is just the, it doesn't have to do with their fees that they're charging anybody. It's just a percentage of their gross revenue that they give to us for, allowing them that, use access, yeah.
Just like everything else does.
Yeah, it's a
Not
rate,
just
they're
that
fine.
percent or something.
Plus their
They don't
rates
follow-
go
they don't follow
up, and
cost.
our percentage of their rates goes up, so if you get a 5%, it's still increasing it because their rates go up.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Seven point three, resolution 2612, a resolution authorizing the city reporter to establish a date. Real property for failure to a date. Nuisances, 815. Northeast Broadway.
So these are, each year during fire season, our police note properties that have not been abated. They notice those property owners. If the property owners do not, in a designated amount of time, abate the weeds, the overgrowth, then the police chief sends that notice over to the city administrator, who then directs public works to abate the lots. And we have set internally the amount at, when it's under $1,000, we leave it as a lien on just a document that we have on our website. But when it's over $1,000, then we go ahead and we take it down to the county and record it for title searches. And per our municipal code, to place a lien, we have to do it through resolution. So this is placing liens on properties that over time, the amount of weed abatement that we have had to conduct has totaled over $1,000. And so these, I would, if they're passed tonight, I would be recording them with the county tomorrow.
So this is over what period of time?
So Broadway is just a couple of years. I think it's last year's and this year's. Sandy Terrace, it's an accumulation from a few years.
So this total, what you're saying is.
That's the total that they owe the city for abatements on there. Mhm.
These vacant houses.
One of them's a vacant lot and one of them's a vacant.
And we've sent them the letters to the property owners. They come back. And so it's just, we're gonna place them with the county. So if it does sell, we can get our
When
money.
it comes to the 8% interest, is that documented within this county so that it's accruing in the county as well? Or do you have
No.
to get it actually,
If we were to actually collect the interest, we're super excited when we collect the base amount, period.
You usually have to figure it yourself.
It would have to be calculated that way. On two other ones that we had paid off, we just gave them the total and said, would you just, if you pay this, we'll call it good. And when we got the check, it was like, yes. I've watched our lien list kind of, it grows and it shrinks, and now it's just been kind of growing for a while. This does also include the recording fees because recording documents are not cheap. So in the resolution, it does, we add in the cost to record it and to record the release of lien when it's paid. So that is in this total as well.
That's good to know because this is awful expensive for, they're really not that big a lots. So what is the rate that you charge for the vacant?
So what we charge is the equipment that has to be used, and there's a rate in our handbook per hour. And then we also do the actual hour labor cost for each individual, which includes all of their benefits, insurance, and everything. And we take that hourly wage and we multiply it by the number of people that were there. And then also per our municipal code, there is, I think it's 5% administrative, which is all this paperwork that has to be done in order to process it.
So it is really expensive.
It adds up, which is why it's nice. We encourage people to just hire a landscaper, whack it down. Yeah.
We've had multiple of them say we're cheaper than getting a landscape.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So, way less than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
no, he was saying
In the cities,
He said it's
cheaper.
cheaper, city's cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
We've had multiple of them. They're just like, we'll just wait till you guys to do it. We'll just pay the bill. It's easier than us having to find somebody and deal with it.
Yeah.
Really. I motion that we pass resolution. Resolution 26-12, resolution authorizing the city recorder to establish a lien on real property identified as 815 Northeast Broadway for failure to abate nuisances.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
I motion that we pass resolution 26-13, a resolution authorizing the city recorder to establish a lien on real property identified as 217 Northeast Sandy Terrace failure to abate nuisances.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on this one? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. City administrator report.
I really don't have much for you guys to do.
No.
Well, I think this is probably not your area, but what's going on the bridge?
Mhm.
Isn't that North Creek Fire Department?
It is North Creek Fire Department.
Washington Bridge, it's the bridge ODOT's.
No, that bridge is county, ODOT's on the other side, goes.
Okay,
goes
county.
City,
Okay,
county,
county,
state.
that's, county is the road. So why is the city of North Creek doing the bridge?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing that Manny, you're on fire commission, did you guys bring it up at your last fire commission meeting? You gonna have one, we're on, okay, that's where you need to bring it up. But what I believe, I remember last year, he got grant money from, was it the state?
Wildland fire.
Yeah, to have two people on duty in case there's a wildfire. And so instead of just having them sit at the fire hall,
Okay,
yeah, instead of just doing nothing, he's doing, having to do community stuff, so it is a grant.
Okay.
I have the same question, but they're doing the county stuff, there's beautifying coming into town because it's paid for, they can sit there at the fire hall and do nothing.
It does look
Yeah.
better, but I just wondered why.
I,
So that
you'd have to
makes
ask Andy, but I think that's what it is.
That what it is, I had asked that
Okay.
outside of the fire commission.
I remember last year he brought in, and they did the bridge, I think, by the Dairy Queen, and they did some other projects around town just to keep them busy.
The other thing I have is, and this is county or ODOT or whatever, the spraying of everything through Myrtle Creek and Tri-City, and it looks like shit, and it looks like it's just a fire hazard, and there used to be blackberries that people could pick and eat, and I'm sure that, I don't think you have anything to do with it, but if there's something that you can do and say, you know what, we'd rather deal with those things on our own and keep poison in Roseburg.
Yeah, it was all county spraying all those.
Yeah, and it's not next to the river, all the way going down Tri-City.
Tri-City is county area. It's not
Well, all
city.
of the city, all the streets, we only own the side streets. So everything that's on 99
On Main Street.
and 99 all the way is county. So, but, you know, you can put up signs that say no spray, or I don't know if you as city administrator can communicate and ask them, no, don't do that. Because they've not done it in other years.
Some people want to spray.
And we can only control.
People
the-
need jobs, so why don't have them come and cut it rather than spray it?
It's a
And right
manpower
next to
issue.
the river, even when the, train goes through and sprays, it stops, you know, a certain distance before the river and after. But you can see all along 99 by Tri-City, south of Pizza Palace, you know, it's just ugly.
Some
And people need
places-
jobs.
I know
They've
it.
got that one machine now that they just, it's kind of like a sideways mower. And they take all the brush down.
Sounds like it's dogs, yeah, that's not-
County.
It's all county. It's all county.
I think with the county, it comes down to manpower. I've even noticed on like South Myrtle where I live, they're not brushing, they didn't spray at all this year. And then when they are brushing, they're just leaving the brush in the ditches now. I don't know if they're running out of money or I don't know what they got going, but I know they didn't spray as much. I haven't seen as much road painting this year from them. I don't know if they're just down on manpower. But
But also,
no,
those are county areas. That's not an area where we can dictate to the county what the county can't do with their own areas.
Well, if you don't call and ask, you won't know either.
I-
You know, because they've never done it in other years, and cancer and all the stuff, yes, spraying's quick and easy, but it's best
What about-
hazard for anybody.
What about at mill site, you know, where they have the drainage there? Over at the far end where the RV park is, they have that long drain and they spray there, and a lot of dogs and stuff like that go in there, and it also drains out to the river. I don't know how you deal with that.
I don't know. I don't think we sprayed it. I don't think we sprayed in there this year or last year.
Straight down.
We don't think we did.
Okay,
That's why it's all brushy like it is.
that's good to know.
You talk where the nature park comes.
Where
in,
the,
RV
yeah,
park.
where the drainage pipes are, you know.
I mean, in the past, I know Michael would have me go down and spray on the sides of the nature trail just to keep it so they weren't spending so much time weed eating.
Yeah,
Just because the parks is a lot for their couple of guys that they got.
okay.
I will say, as far as the berry vines, I was gonna go down and do it myself, because I rode my bike every night, but the city did go right along the nature trails. Berry vines were coming in,
Yeah.
and they have gone and cut them back
Yes.
along there, and that's what's better than spraying.
Yes, the
But
spraying, it
I
just
see what you're saying, it's
fire
ugly,
hazard and an environmental hazard.
but go to the county commissioners meeting and ask them
Yeah,
whether,
right, I've been there.
but the city can override the county on their property.
But he could ask. He's-
I could reach out to the guys who
and-
do
and
it to
just
see.
tell them they'll take care of it.
What's the difference in him asking or you asking? As a county,
He has a little more pull than she does.
He's probably more.
Universal.
Yeah. But.
Maybe there's a good question you could say, like, you know, if before they cut through city, like, to Main Street, no matter what they're doing, maybe there's, hopefully they can, like, at least let us know what they're going to have, and maybe, yeah, that's a fair thing to ask people. If it's their city.
Yeah, I could reach out to the public works and talk to them.
Yeah.
And how we doing on staff
I think we're in good shape.
with our park, you know, Manpower,
We got our normal full-time guy and a part-time guy, and then Bob, whenever he's not doing building maintenance stuff, he goes down and helps them, so I think that's up to staff right now.
and the golf cart, of course,
We could use more, but we're making do.
and, kitchen.
Still waiting on an answer. I got my bid. I think I reported to you guys that we got that bid to fix it. It was why I think $18,700 they gotta pull the stack out of the building. We put another coating on it and make it double wall and test it, all the welds, make sure the welds all pass and put it back in. And I told him to go ahead, let's fix it and let me know when the scheduling was, then we could schedule the cleaners, and then when the hood or that stack was laying on the ground, he could clean it a lot easier than when it's in the building. I think Washington Metal is just extremely busy, and I've reached out to him last week and asked him if we had any updates for the scheduling to see where they were at, and we've got crickets.
Has anybody shown any interest in coming in yet, or we're gonna go try to solicit that once we're decided ready for it?
I haven't really been advertising a whole bunch or asking around. I know there was the one gal that Granny's Mini Hut that seemed interested. And it sounds like she went a different direction and bought a third or second food truck.
I've heard of a few people that are looking at it.
I think once it's out, I bet you would probably get a lot of interest.
Oh, I think so.
Someone to anyone.
I think the ones that were kind of interested in were just like some of them that just paid for 6 months because they weren't sure exactly what was going on as far as going out there. Now, said, no, I'm gonna pull your thing, let people see how much is being used. That maybe that will influence somebody to maybe have to come in and do something.
Are we getting a lot of people playing?
Yes, it's been very, very busy.
Good.
Way more busy than we ever thought.
Good.
But we just have separate financials.
It's in with the sewer department,
The golf course.
yes.
I think,
Oh, because that's where the fluid goes,
Yeah.
and that's.
I think I think we're planning on separating out a little bit more, right? Next year.
We had talked about it. I mean, it has its own, department, but it's in the sewer fund. So, I mean, all the revenue, you can see that separately because it has the cart fees, the green fees.
And
I mean, the first year is gonna be,
I mean, I expect it to be a lot, but is it?
yes.
It's better than we budgeted or expected.
Revenue is better than we expected. In my mind. Because I think,
We was looking at whatever financials we got from the last people, and we were expecting, what, $300,000 a year? And I think we're almost there in our first 3 months.
Great.
4 months.
Good job,
There's a lot of work every day.
Jay.
And to tell you, it's clear, a lot of that's cash basis, so a lot of that income was annual thing, so it's not like it's gonna be $300,000 every quarter, like it's gonna.
right, no, well,
Yeah.
for May and June, obviously that was last fiscal year, so we can't really, I kind of just,
Yeah.
push that off. But, for the first month of July in this new fiscal year, we've far exceeded what I thought that we would do in there. So, I mean, carts are paying for themselves. I think once we pay back the loan to the sewer department and things like that, it'll easily pay for itself.
You just gotta remember, we just gotta keep reinvesting, keep it up, because the more you keep it up. Dude, there was what? Monday, there was that group, Sunday.
It was, yeah.
Uh,
Dubai,
Dubai and United Emirates. And then I think Thursday, they didn't say there was some come from Michigan, but they were from Vietnam.
yep, there's a guy that comes down from California about once a month, or comes down from Washington about once a month, like,
So he started to tell his friends that they're stopping by, so we are getting more play from just not local people.
and we haven't even advertised yet.
Good job.
I think if we start advertising, we probably ought to buy more carts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next spring.
Also,
Advertise so we can catch you up there.
all right, council comments, Bob.
Want to extend another great big thank you to the city workers for all the help that they gave us during Summer Festival, even though they were a little short-handed with some certain extenuating circumstances there. We greatly appreciate what we were able to provide, and no major problems this year, knock on wood. It went off well. We had a great turnout on Saturday night. Mayor was down there for a while.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna get your speakers off the side of the building.
Yeah, I noticed something the other night when I was down there in Music Park.
Yeah, I drove through there this morning, I'm like, oh, we gotta get those down.
No bigger, just before it rains. Other than that, I'm good. Jamie?
I don't have any.
Kathy?
So I have a couple of things, mostly, I guess, some observations, as far as Creekside, the summer festival car show was over there, which was awesome. I met 4 people, I couldn't believe it, that are brand new to Myrtle Creek, in the last 7 years. So that gives you an idea of how attractive our city is becoming. Let's see, the only thing though, there were tons of people, number one. Number two, there was 2, not just one, but 2 big lines out front of us. And, I had asked, that, someone maybe hopefully could get over there to clean out the rose garden. That didn't happen, so I'm asking that maybe we could make that a possibility for next year. The other thing I was curious about, it's kind of like about what's going on thing, is the murals. Murals are popping up, and one was on a city box, I think, the one right up.
That's an ODOT.
But is that not ours?
It is.
No, okay. Yeah, is that?
I don't know who it is, but I know.
I saw that doing it, but I don't know.
The what, the
It's ODOT, yeah.
Electrical box.
electrical box is part of the bureau committee.
Oh, it's part of this, so who owns the electrical?
ODOT.
ODOT owns it. They got permission from ODOT to do that.
Oh, okay, well, it's very attractive, I like it personally, but that doesn't mean other people would like it, I like the mural.
did one
My daughter did it, yeah.
What's that?
It was a kid, contest. They had the kids draw something and then they all voted as a committee, and it was my daughter that drew it.
Oh, really? Oh,
and then-
congratulations, I thought I
The
really
guy
liked it.
from the arcade actually is the one who painted it.
Okay.
And he said pretty much to her.
You understand it?
Yeah.
The only,
Warren.
the only.
Well, I was gonna say, I don't remember, I saw the guy paint, I didn't.
The only concern I have is that there are other murals that they want to put up around the town. When I was just hoping, if you know anyone connected, if they could just come and share about their plans. I don't know how the others feel. I saw really one I liked a lot with the sunflowers. That was on a similar kind of thing, but yeah, I'd heard that there might be more. I would like someone to come in and talk to us about it. The other thing is the community center. What are there going to be hours posted? Is there any
Visitor Center.
there?
Visitor Center, Community Center.
The one next to Tommy.
Visitor Center. We don't have hours posted. We currently have a volunteer every Friday, and they were just waiting on me to get through a bunch of stuff that I was working on to host another volunteer orientation, because I do have about 3 or 4 more to give the orientation to and show them what we would like to have them do. And then they will be able then to establish a day that they would like to be there. But currently it's Fridays. We have one gentleman who goes in there regularly. He opens it up from about 11 to 3 every Friday. He's had a few. He makes sure to call me right away. Ronald Anderson. Yeah.
We were actually having a meeting in there one night, and the door, we left the door open, and this couple came walking through the door, said, oh, is this visitor center? So I took the opportunity to talk to them for a few minutes, but it is getting noticed as a visitor center.
So when we get more volunteers, are they talking about just expanding out on Friday, or they're gonna go to a couple more days?
They would, so Ronald would like to see it a couple more days to give it more opportunity. I'm a little hesitant to put hours on there until we have a real regular. He's been really faithful and has only had a few Fridays where he wasn't able to. But he does put out the blue open flag and he flips on the open light.
Our original goal was to have that Friday and Saturday.
Saturday, the most people come into town.
Right, that was why I wanted to see Saturday. That's what we originally, but we haven't had volunteers, sign up to do that, so.
I also would like to, just say that, Millside, I know the summer festival is a big deal, and there was a lot of activity with the parks workers and stuff, and they did a fantastic job, and actually, I noticed that the Veterans Memorial was not, there was that little lull between you and the last administrator. And it wasn't being paid attention to as well, but, they got in there and really just, it looks good. It really looks good, so, thanks for that. That's it.
Diana?
Any movement on the siren?
Nope,
They're supposed to move that.
it was gonna go, well, below your
Yeah,
house.
we
like a water
put
plant.
it on your front porch.
So, but that's not moving yet.
It's kind of got put to the wayside with everything else we've had going on, but
Would that be the only one?
the only,
Siren,
We're just gonna stick with one siren, and put it down there?
yeah.
you think that people will be able to hear it? That's my concern. I will hear it.
You will.
And I'm supposed to
More
call
on that in
everybody.
town, I'm on the other end of town, and I won't hear it, and I love the siren.
Can you hear it now?
Come live by it for a while, Rick.
Yeah.
I can hear it at the golf
Tri-City, sometimes louder than
Yeah.
Little Creek, and sometimes even Canyon.
Oh, wow.
It just comes through that canyon up behind Ray's and out through the golf.
Oh,
course.
wow.
I was saying, I can hear it at the golf course when I'm out there.
And they're different tones, so I can tell if it's Myrtle Creek or if it's Tri-City, because they're different sounds, but I mean, I know people want it moved out there, but I hate to see it move farther away from me, but nothing we can do about that. That's why I didn't know if we're gonna put, one down there and then put a smaller one like a fire hall. You know, so where you can amplify around town. Yeah, that's my
Opposed
opinion.
to it.
And at the last meeting, I heard something about a meeting getting canceled and holiday. I think it was that meeting, so,
That was the last meeting, or
yeah,
the last month. First
yeah,
meeting.
the
of
last meeting when I was here, not here. And when
Yeah.
I woke up,
There's a,
I could hear you guys laughing and talking about skipping a meeting, so.
And there was There was never a consensus, and I listened to the meetings over, and there wasn't a vote or anything to say we're not having the first one in August. So
This
since,
meeting right here,
yeah.
I was trying to figure out, there is no.
Yeah, and so
It's the September.
no, it was gonna be the two we were talking about, but we just without a actual consensus or something, we weren't going to just cancel it. And there was a lot for it.
I think if you're gonna call a meeting, you might consider it in the winter time. I know it's not as busy, people are vacationing, but it's slower and in case a lot of things come up.
We usually.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, yeah.
holidays,
Usually one around 4th of July and then around Christmas. But last year we canceled the city council meeting and had our work session. Showed up.
Rick, yeah.
No, I had questions on the visitor center. I think they were guys, oh, the one where they open the Friday of Summerfest.
I don't think so. On my phone, But Ron might have, he's also an Elk, and so he might have been, they had all hands on deck with their cooking and their bread wagons and all of that, so he might have been busy there. I have on my phone the app for the lock, so when anybody goes in there, it tells me someone's unlocked it or locked it back up again. No, I didn't get a notice about it, so I think he might have been busy at Summer Festival.
I don't have anything. All right. Yeah.